Welcome back to the channel. This is part 6 to the road to becoming a Pokemon champion. Chapter 6, The Battle Chateau of Viridian City. Serena was getting ready for bed. She had already brushed her teeth for the night and was coming out of the bathroom in her pajamas. She sat on the bed and sighed. Opposite of her was Misty, who was already lying down in bed. They had decided to share a room together at the Pokemon Center in order not to take up too much open rooms in case other trainers came by. Ever since Misty and Serena shook hands and decided to travel together, and when Misty wasn't mentioning her bike, they got along pretty okay. Misty got on her side and propped herself up with her elbow on her pillow. "So Serena, how long have you known Ash?" she asked. "I've known him for about 3 years now," Serena replied. "We were at summer camp in Pallet Town. I had just moved to the area. I had fallen and hurt my leg during a scavenger hunt. He appeared and helped me by bandaging my leg and leading me by hand out of the forest. He completely dropped the scavenger hunt to make sure I was okay." "That was nice of him," Misty said with a smile. "Yeah. It was," Serena said, smiling back. "He is definitely one of the kindest people I know. There aren't too many people out there who love people and Pokemon as much as he does." "So are you 2-point boyfriend and girlfriend?" Misty asked curiously. Serena blushed heavily at the question. No. We aren't dating or anything," she said nervously. Misty then got a sly look on her face. "But you like him, don't you?" "Yeah. I do," Serena said nervously while rubbing the back of her neck and sweat dropping. Misty then replaced her mischievous look with one of curiosity again and asked, "Why don't you let him know that you like him? I mean, I'm assuming he doesn't know." "It's simple, really," Serena said matter-of-factly. "Ash is the greatest person I've ever met. He's kind, generous, funny, and isn't afraid to protect those he cares about. I would hate for him to act weird around me if he knew I liked him and him not feel that way about me. I'm going out on a limb here, but from what I've seen, it seems that Ash cares a good deal about you also. He may like you. It's just he hasn't realized it yet. All it would take is a good push to get him to know his feelings for you. You will never know until you try." "I know. I'm just not ready to tell him yet," Serena sighed. Misty smiled sympathetically. "That's fine. You are still afraid of getting friend-zoned. That can be the worst place to be in when you have a crush on someone. Just tell him when you're ready." "You sound like you speak from experience, Misty," Serena said. "No way. I don't have a crush on anyone," Misty suddenly said offensively. Alright. "Sorry," Serena said, waving her hands in front of her face. "Well, I'm going to go ahead and get to sleep," Misty said as she turned over and put her head on the pillow. "Yeah. I need to also. I didn't get much sleep last night," Serena yawned. She then pulled her legs over the bed and got underneath the covers. She was asleep in few minutes. It was the next morning in Viridian City. Compared to the night before, both Ash and Serena got a good night's sleep. Their Pokemon were also feeling better and fully refreshed. Everyone was now in the cafeteria eating their breakfast at a booth in the cafeteria. Pikachu was licking a bottle of ketchup. It didn't know why, but it sure loved the stuff. "So Ash, Serena told me that you are going to challenge the Indigo League," Misty said as she scooped up some cereal in her spoon to take a bite. "That's right," Ash confirmed. "I'm going to challenge all the gym leaders and then win." "Don't get ahead of yourself," Misty said. "Gym leaders are a lot stronger than your average trainer. They are no pushovers. You need to make sure you are prepared every time." "Right," Ash replied as he took a bite of his food. "Speaking of the Indigo League, have you signed up yet, Ash?" Serena spoke up. Ash mentally smacked himself. "I can't believe I forgot." He was about to get up and abandon his food to go, but Misty stopped him. "Relax, Ash. Registration isn't going anywhere. There is no deadline. You can do so at any time, Misty said. Ash sighed with relief and sat back down. That's good. I would hate to have to waste all this good food, Ash said as he resumed eating. Serena chuckled while Misty rolled her eyes. Nurse Joy. I'd like to sign up for the Indigo Pokemon League, please, Ash stated. Serena and Pikachu were back in the lobby at the front desk. Misty had gone back to her room real quick to retrieve her things. Alright, Ash. I will just need to see your Pokédex. The computer up here in the lobby is still out of order from last night, but the one in the back still works, Nurse Joy told him. Ash nodded and handed his Pokédex to Nurse Joy. She then went to the back room to scan it. So are we ready to head out once this is done? Ash asked. Yeah. I have all my things, Serena replied. Pikachu. Pikachu nodded its head. Nurse Joy then returned with Ash's Pokédex and handed it back to him. Here you go, Ash. You are all signed up for the Indigo League. I wish you the best of luck, she said. Great. Thanks, Nurse Joy. I heard there is a gym here in Viridian City. Could you please tell me how to get there? Ash asked eagerly. Nurse Joy got an apologetic look on her face. Unfortunately, the gym leader isn't there at the moment. He's always out doing various projects. He is one of the hardest gym leaders to schedule a match with, because he's away so often. He is also very secretive and shrouded in mystery. I don't even know his name, Nurse Joy told Ash. Oh. Okay then, Ash said, only slightly disappointed. In that case, where is the nearest one? That would be the one in Pewter City. My cousin works at the Pokemon Center there. I will email her to let her know you are coming. I'm sure she would like to thank you for helping the Pokemon as well, Nurse Joy said kindly. We will, Ash said. He then turned to Serena. So Serena, ready to head to Pewter City? Ash asked her. Actually, Ash, I was wondering if we could check someplace out before leaving the city, Serena requested while scratching her cheek. Sure. What is it? Ash asked. I saw this advertisement last night about something called the Battle Chateau. It was next to the poster for the Indigo League. I was hoping we could go there to see what it's like, Serena told him. No problem. Do you want to check out the Battle Chateau, Pikachu? Ash asked. Pikachu replied while holding up one its small paws and making a V shape with its fingers. Then let's go, Ash said as they turned towards the door. Hold it. Misty suddenly yelled behind them. They turned around to see Misty running up to them. I know you weren't thinking about leaving me behind. Don't forget. I'm staying with you guys until you get me a new bike, she reminded. Of course not. We weren't going to leave you behind. Hehehehe. Ash chuckled nervously. Well, whatever. So where are we headed to? Misty asked. There is this new facility called the Battle Chateau that we are going to see. It sounds like fun, Serena answered. You're actually in luck. I've heard of the Battle Chateau myself and happen to know the way there. Follow me, Misty said. She began to walk towards the exit. Everyone waved goodbye to Nurse Joy and they were off. Well, here it is, Misty said once they reached the Battle Chateau. Ash and Serena looked up in amazement at the majestic building. It looked more like a castle than a battle facility, complete with spiral towers and stone bricks. The only that seemed to be missing was a moat. Wow, Serena said in awe as she continued to stare. Well, are you two just going to stand there all day, or are we going in? I'm actually a little curious to see what the inside looks like myself, Misty said a little impatiently. Yeah. We are coming, Serena said as they walked in. The inside of the Battle Chateau was just as grand as the outside. Red carpet adorned the floors with expensive looking vases on pedestals against the wall. There were several doorways against the wall which the group assumed led to the rooms for battling. There were also huge marble staircases that led up to higher floors. There were several maids and butlers walking around. There were also a few other kids in formal attire that were chatting. "Welcome the Battle Chateau, Beau and Ames," an elderly man with a goatee and a butler's outfit greeted. "I'm the head butler here. My name is Hennessy." He then gave a bow. "Hello," the group said. Pikachu thought this man was rather intimidating and hid behind Ash. "Is this, perhaps, your first time visiting here?" Hennessy asked. "Yes, it is," Serena answered. "I saw an advertisement at the Pokémon Center and wanted to see what you had to offer here." "Ah. Splendid," Hennessy said. "As long as you trainers have received a recommendation from a person of stature, I will gladly accept you in." A recommendation?" Ash asked, confused. "I don't think we have received anything like that." "Oh dear. Perhaps there is someone you could call that I could speak to?" Hennessy asked. "I know." Serena spoke up. "We can call Professor Oak. He will surely give us one." "Oh. You know Professor Oak?" Hennessy asked. "Absolutely," Ash replied. "He is actually our neighbor, and we got our Pokédex from him." "Well, that is just wonderful," Hennessy exclaimed. "If you may just let me see your Pokédexes, that is good enough recommendation for me." Professor Oak wouldn't give someone a Pokédex he didn't deem a worthy trainer. "Oh great," Serena said happily as she took out her Pokédex to give to Hennessy, Ash doing the same. After confirming their identities on their Pokédex, he then handed their Pokédexes back and clapped his hands together. "Wonderful," he exclaimed. "Will all of you be participating today?" "Hey, Serena. I'd like to try it out myself to see what it's like also, if that's okay," Ash said. "Sure, Ash. I'd be very happy to have you try it with me," Serena said, smiling. "Great. What about you, Misty?" Ash asked, turning to her. "Actually, I will just sit and watch." "This isn't really my thing," Misty replied. "Okay, Hennessy. It will be Ash and me participating," Serena said, giving a nod. "Excellent, madam," Hennessy said. "You and the young sir right there may follow me, so we may change your outfits." "We have to change our clothes?" Ash asked as he, Pikachu, and Serena began following Hennessy into another room. "Certainly. This is a place for elegant trainers to try their skills. They must be able to look their best," Hennessy answered. Okay," Ash shrugged. "Surely you want to look your best, Ash," Serena said. "I'll bet he'll look really handsome in a formal outfit," she then thought and blushed slightly. "Are you too sure you want to this?" Misty asked a little unsurely. "Of course. Why wouldn't we?" Ash asked, turning back to look at Misty. Misty sighed. "If you are sure." Hennessy then led them to another butler and a maid. "I have a young sir and madam that would like to participate in our battle chateau today. Would you two be so kind as to lead them to their rooms to change?" Hennessy asked. The butler and maid bowed. "It would be our pleasure, sir," they said. Serena followed the maid down one hallway and Ash and Pikachu followed the butler down another. "I'm getting so excited. Hee hee," Serena thought to herself. She was soon led into a changing room. Serena stood and looked around, while the maid went to find an outfit for her. Even the changing room looked grand. There were several rows of dresses of different sizes that were aligned neatly and orderly. The room itself was sparkling clean and also had a red carpet. There were many different doors to where one could change clothes privately. Serena couldn't help but be amazed at how much effort the builders had put into this place. "Here you are, madam," the maid said as she handed Serena her outfit. "Please use one of the changing facilities over there," she pointed. Serena then went into one of the rooms, closed the door, and began to change. Once she was finished, she looked herself over in the mirror. She wore a long pink dress with short sleeves edged with white frills. She wore pantyhose on her legs with elegant pink flats to match. On her head was a sparkling pink headband. Oh wow. I look so cute, she said to herself. I can't wait for Ash to see me like this. She then walked out of the changing room, leaving her other clothes behind, and was led by the maid back to the front hall. She saw Ash was already back and was with Misty and Hennessy. He was wearing a white long-sleeved button-up shirt with a tie. He had on black trousers and black shoes with a black button-up coat. What stood out most to Serena about Ash was that his hair was actually combed. She didn't think she had ever seen his hair that neat in the entire time she has known him. He looked so handsome. Serena then went over to Ash. How do I look, Ash? She asked and did a twirl for emphasis. Ash looked pretty amazed. Wow. You look great, Serena. Very elegant. Serena smiled. It wasn't quite the reaction she was hoping for, but it was good enough coming from Ash. Well, thank you, Ash. You look very handsome yourself. Especially with your combed hair, she giggled. Thanks. The butler made me do it, or I couldn't compete, Ash said nervously, while rubbing the back of his neck. Pikachu then snickered at Ash, causing him to glare at it. Ha ha ha. Laugh it up, Pikachu. Why don't I put you in these clothes and see how you like it? Ash said, which promptly made Pikachu be quiet. If I may have your attention, please. While you were changing, the matchups were decided for this tournament. I would now like to explain the rules, Hennessy politely cut in. Whenever you are at a battle chateau, you are assigned a rank. Since this is your first time at one, you both shall begin with the starting rank, Baroness for the young dame, and Baron for the young beau. In order to ascend higher and improve your rank, you must defeat trainers in battle. The ranks you can start with is Baron or Baroness, then Viscount or Viscountess, Earl or Countess, Marquis or Marchioness, and finally Duke or Duchess. Once you achieve that rank, you may then challenge our very own Chatelaines. I suppose you could call them the Elite Four of our battle chateau for comparison. If you are able to defeat them in battle, you will receive a plaque, your picture on the wall, and a fabulous prize. So this is a tournament in itself? Serena asked. Yes, ma'am. We even have gym leaders battle here occasionally. The higher rank you become, the more recognition you will receive, and the more you may capture the attention of a gym trainer or even someone of the Elite Four, Hennessy said. I have another question, Hennessy, Serena said. Achieving the rank of Duchess seems like a lot of work to do for one day. How do people do it? Hennessy then chuckled softly. Oh ho ho ho. Dear Dame, of course we don't expect you to do this all in one day or even in the same city. There are 5 different battle chateaus across the Kanto region. There is one here in Viridian City, one in Cerulean City, one in Celadon City, another in Saffron City, and finally, there is one in Fuchsia City. Whatever rank you achieve here will carry over with you to any battle chateau in the region. You are presented with a different ribbon and title card every time you receive a new rank for confirmation. Oh, but, Serena sighed with relief. She couldn't wait to start trying to ascend in the ranks. She was hoping she could impress Ash by showing she was a good trainer. So without further ado, are you two ready to begin the tournament? Hennessy asked. Ash and Serena nodded. Wonderful. In that case, please follow me to the battle hall where you will face your first opponent. There will be 10 other trainers participating in this tournament. It will be played out like a standard tournament. Each trainer will face against one other opponent. The winner gets to move on to the next round, while the loser is out. This goes on until only 2 trainers are left. The winner gets to move up to the next rank. Do you understand? Hennessy asked, receiving a nod. The group then began to walk towards the battle hall. While they were walking, something suddenly occurred to Ash. Hey, Misty. Why is it you didn't need to have a recommendation to come in like Serena and me? You said you have never been here before, he said curiously. Oh, it's nothing. The Battle Shadow already knew I didn't need a recommendation, Misty said nervously while looking in the opposite direction. How did they know that? Ash asked. It's none of your business, Misty said moodily. Alright. Sorry, Ash said as they entered the hall. As they expected, the battle hall was a very large room with deep red carpet across the whole room. Unlike the rest of the Battle Chateau, however, the room was pretty bare. The only decorations were the various pictures that aligned the wall. Ash, Serena, and Misty assumed it was because of the intense Pokemon battles that took place in this room and the staff didn't want to risk anything being broken. Hennessy then turned to Serena. Madam, you will be part of the first tier, so you will be battling first in our single battle. Your opponent will be a boy by the name of Joshua. Good luck with your match. Can we stay and watch her battle? Ash asked hopefully. Of course, sir. Just be sure to be in your battle room by your scheduled battle time. You will be in the third tier, Hennessy answered. He then gave a bow and left the room. This is going to be your first real battle, Serena. Are you excited? Ash asked her enthusiastically. Yes. I'm just really nervous, but I can do it. I believe in Charla, Serena said. I know you can do it. Misty, Pikachu, and I will be right there on the sidelines cheering you on, Ash said, giving her a thumbs up. Thanks, Ash. Serena smiled. I think that must be your opponent, Serena, Misty said, pointing to the other end of the room. Ash and Serena turned, and sure enough, a young boy around their age was walking into the room. He had short, neatly combed brown hair, and had a determined look on his face. He definitely didn't look prepared to lose. Go get him, Serena, Ash said as he, Misty, and Pikachu went to the edge of the room to watch. The judge then stood in the center of the room. This is an official match of the Battle Chateau tournament. The match shall be one-on-one. Whoever wins shall advance further in the tournament. Whoever loses shall be eliminated. Before the match begins, may the Bobo and the Dame curtsy to one another, he informed. Serena smiled at the boy opposite of her, and did a light curtsy. The boy gave a smile back and bowed. Now please choose your Pokemon, the judge called out. Serena took a deep breath before exhaling. Here I go, she thought. She then reached and grabbed her Pokeball. Charla, come on out, she said as she threw it. The ball landed on the floor and opened to reveal the fire-type Pokemon. Char. Char, it said once it came up. It seemed ready for its first battle despite its lack of experience. The opposing trainer also threw his Pokeball. Nidoran. I choose you. The Pokeball opened to reveal a small pink rabbit-like Pokemon with a large horn on its forehead. Ah, a male Nidoran, Serena said as she opened her Pokédex to scan it. Nidoran, the poison pin Pokemon, it has large poisonous horn on its forehead, the Pokédex said. Be careful of the horn, Charla. Serena called out to Charla, who nodded. This match between Serena and Joshua will now start. There will be no time limit. Begin. The judge yelled, waving down both of his flags. Nidoran. Use horn attack. Go. Joshua immediately said. The Nidoran charged forward at full speed, ready to attack Charla. Serena was incredibly surprised at how quickly the boy had called out to Nidoran, and how quickly it responded. Serena, say a command. Serena heard Ash call. Oh, right. Charla dodge it, she called, but it was too late. Charla was hit by the horn dead on, and sent flying backwards. It landed on the ground in pain. Charla. Are you okay? Serena asked as Charla slowly rose back to its feet. It then nodded its head, signifying it could still fight. That's great, Nidoran. Now use Poison Sting. Joshua commanded. Nidoran then leaped into the air and shot several glowing needles from its horn right at Charla. Dodge it, Charla. Serena called. Charla then leaped out of the way. She's not going to win if all she is doing is dodging, Misty said to herself. Charge straight at Charmander and use horn attack, Nidoran, the male trainer called out. Nidoran leaned back a little and charged straight at Charla again. Now's my chance, Serena thought. Charla, use Ember. Charla then took a deep breath and shot out as many embers as it could from its mouth in hopes of hitting the Nidoran. Joshua smiled. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. Leap into the air, Nidoran. Nidoran leaped into the air high above Charla, completely dodging the ember attack. What? Cried Serena. Now use Poison Sting, the other trainer called. Nidoran then pointed its head downward, while in mid-air, so its head was pointing straight at Charla. It then let loose a barrage of needles. Due to the proximity of the attack, Charla was unable to dodge, and hit with almost every needle. It then began to cough and look sick. Charla had been poisoned. Oh no. Charla, said Serena with worry. Finish this off with tackle. Joshua called. Try an ember attack, called Serena frantically. Charla took a deep breath to use ember attack, but Nidoran collided with it before it had a chance to let loose its attack. Charla was sent flying backwards and landed on its back, this time not getting up. Charla. Are you okay? Serena asked. Che, it muttered weakly. Charmander is unable to battle. The winner is Joshua. Serena is eliminated from today's tournament, the judge called out, waving the flag in his left hand and pointing to Joshua. Way to go, Nidoran. Joshua said as he went over to pet it, before returning it to its Pokeball. He then looked over at Serena, and gave a short nod, before leaving the room. Serena sank to her knees. She couldn't believe it. She never even landed a hit. It had ended so quickly. Return, Charla. Good job, she said sadly as she returned Charla to its Pokeball. She then heard footsteps behind her, and figured it was Ash, Misty, and Pikachu. Serena. Ash trailed, confirming her guess. Serena then turned to Ash, and looked at him sadly. Ash, second didn't even land a hit, she said. I know. It's okay, he replied. You tried, Serena. That trainer was just a little better, Misty said. Serena looked at the ground again. More like he was a lot better. It was her first real battle, and she lost horribly. That really stung. I'm sorry, Charla, she said as looked at her Pokeball. She then felt a comforting hand on her shoulder, and turned around to find Ash attempting a smile at her. She slowly tried to smile back, and managed a weak one in return, but it quickly left her face. This is an official match of the Battle Chateau tournament. The match shall be one-on-one. Whoever wins shall advance further in the tournament. Whoever loses shall be eliminated. Before the match begins, may the bows bow to one another, the judge said. Ash bowed while his opponent did the same. It was now Ash's turn at the Battle Chateau. Seeing Serena lose like that had upset him a little bit, but he also knew he would have to focus on the match. Hopefully he could win. Now please. Choose your Pokemon, the judge said. Ash looked at Pikachu. Well, you're up, Pikachu. You can do it, Ash said. Pikachu nodded and ran forward to the center of the battle hall. The other trainer seemed to think for a moment, before making his decision. I choose you, Mankey, he then threw his Pokeball. The ball landed on the floor, to reveal a pig-monkey looking Pokemon that was covered with white fur except for the ends of its thin arms and legs. It seemed to have an angry expression on its face. HMM, a Mankey, Ash said to himself as he scanned it with his Pokédex. Mankey. The pig-monkey Pokemon. Although normally friendly, it has a very quick temper and can rampage, the Pokédex said. Come on, Ash. You can win it. Serena called out from the side of the hall. Misty stood, watching silently. This match between Ash and Chris will now start. There will be no time limit. Begin, the judge yelled, waving down both of his flags. Okay, Pikachu. Let's start this off with a Thunder Shock. Ash said. Pikaret nodded, then charged up power in its cheeks, and released a thunder shock at Mankey. It was a direct hit. Mankey grimaced at the pain, but quickly shook it off. Alright. Mankey. Hit it with a karate chop. Chris ordered. Mankey then ran forward, prepared to do the attack to Pikachu. Use quick attack to avoid it, Pikachu. Ash ordered. Pikachu shot out of the way, and then began to run around in circles around Mankey. Mankey was trying to keep up with Pikachu, but it soon got dizzy. Now's your chance, Pikachu. Mankey's center is probably its weak spot. Hit right there. Ash called. For some reason, he saw a strange smile on Chris's face when he ordered that command. Something was up. Pikachu. Pikachu then ran forward and hit Mankey square in the stomach. Mankey yelled in pain before flying backwards. It must have been a critical hit. Good job, Pikachu. Ash said. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. You activated my Pokemon's special ability, Anger. Point, Chris said before calling out, Mankey, get up and use your karate chop. Mankey got up, but something was different about it. It was beet red and seemed to be extremely angry. It let out what sounded like a battle cry and charged forward with great speed. Pikachu. Use quick attack to get out of the way. Try attacking it from a distance. Ash said. Pikachu obeyed and swiftly got out of the way, but Mankey turned just as fast, surprising Pikachu before it was hit by Mankey's karate chop. Chara. Pikachu cried out, before being sent sailing through the air a lot farther than Ash would think from a karate chop. Pikachu hit the wall, and then fell to the ground in defeat. Pikachu. Ash cried. Pikachu is unable to battle. The winner is Chris, the judge said, raising its flag to point at Chris. One shot. I can't believe it. How? Ash asked himself. He was clearly stunned. It's because you activated my Mankey's special ability, Anger Point. Every time Mankey get hit with a critical hit, its attack is boosted to incredible levels. Getting most Pokemon in their weak spot is normally a good strategy, but it works in favor of Mankey. That was your big mistake, Chris said, before returning Mankey to its Pokeball and leaving the room. Ash watched him go, and then went over to pick up Pikachu. Hey Pikachu. You did great, buddy. It was my fault, Ash said sadly. Serena watched Ash from the sidelines. She couldn't believe it. Ash lost too, and he was doing so well at first. When Serena decided to take on the Battle Shadow challenge, she had no idea it would be this tough. Ash came up to join them. I don't understand. I thought Pikachu and I were ready for a battle. Where did I go wrong? Ash said more to himself than Serena and Misty. We better get your Pokemon back to the Pokemon Center, Misty said. There is something I would like to talk to you two about. She then began to walk away. Right, they both said. They then followed Misty. The group had now returned to the Pokemon Center. There were now several workers in the lobby that were repairing some of the damage that was caused last night, and a few construction workers on the roof that were attempting to repair the hole in the roof. Despite all the loud noise going on, the center was still in operation. Nurse Joy was surprised to see them back so soon, but still graciously accepted their Pokemon and took them to the back room to heal them. She had told them that their Pokemon's wounds weren't as severe this time, which was a great comfort to Ash and Serena. Ash and Serena were now sitting on a couch in the lobby, both musing to themselves how they could make it as trainers if they were always going to lose this badly. Misty had walked over and was now standing in front of them. You two are pretty naive, you know, Misty suddenly spoke up, causing them both to look at her. What do you mean? Ash asked. Misty sighed. I mean, how did you expect to do well at the Battle Shadow when you only have one Pokemon each, and neither of them have ever battled before, she said with her hands on her hips. Well, Serena began, but couldn't find an answer. Ash was the same way. The Battle Chateau, or any other battle facility, isn't to be taken lightly. The trainers that go to that place and that are taking the Indigo League challenge are just as serious as you two are about becoming trainers. They aren't just going to barge straight in there and expect to win with inexperienced Pokemon. Misty said with a hint of anger in her voice. So you are saying it's our Pokemon's fault? Ash said, giving Misty an angry look. Of course it isn't. It's your fault for having such poor judgment. Misty yelled, causing Ash to shrink back. I thought that, if we trusted our Pokemon, that would be enough to win the fight, Ash said sadly, and looked down at the floor. I'm afraid it isn't, Misty said, also lowering her voice. Trusting your Pokemon is important in battle, but you also have to be smart in battle also. Your Pokemon had never had a real battle before. If you want to do well in battle, you have to train your Pokemon. Develop a bond with them. Form your own battle style. Get experience. Start by battling other beginning trainers like yourselves, because I guarantee you every other trainer in the battle Chateau had already been trainers a while. Ash and Serena closed their eyes. Misty's words stung, but she was right. They were both being too eager for battle. They couldn't just expect to do well with their Pokemon careers if they didn't gain experience first. I'll let you go to the Battle Chateau, because I was hoping you would see for yourselves all the aspiring trainers there that were taking their training seriously, hoping for you to follow their example and train just as hard. I didn't think you would actually participate. Misty said, throwing her hands in the air. Ash and Serena grimaced. That had made a lot of rash decisions so far on their journey, and it's gotten them in trouble each time. If you two are going to make it as Pokemon trainers, you have to stop being so impulsive. Think before you do anything. Study your opponent. Read about a Pokemon's strengths and weaknesses before you battle, so you know if they have a trick up their sleeve like that Mankey. Start with battles that are more your own level. Misty continued. We are sorry, they both said. Misty sighed. I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. Just then, the busy signal went off in the back room, signifying Ash and Serena's Pokemon were out of examination. Nurse Joy and Chansey then came out with Pikachu and Chola behind them. They both went over to their Pokemon, seeing them almost as good as new. Since the injuries weren't as serious this time, I was able to treat your Pokemon with a super potion each, Nurse Joy smiled. That's great. Ash said. Serena got a happy look their face. They then remembered they had something to do. Hey, Pikachu. I'm sorry I put you through that. I forgot you had probably never battled since your last trainer. I was really unprepared for the match, and you had to suffer at it. I won't that mistake again. Will you forgive me? Ash asked hopefully. I'm sorry too, Chola. I was really rash to put you into a battle facility for our very first match. I promise I'll make better decisions from now on, Serena said. Both Pokemon nodded. They both trusted their trainers. They certainly were not going to leave them after one mistake. Thanks. Ash and Serena said gratefully. Ash gave Pikachu a high five and Serena hugging Chola. They then turned to Misty, now with a renewed look of determination. You're right, Misty. Thanks for telling us that. I'm going to make sure to make a lot better decisions from now on, and not be so rash and stubborn. I'm going to capture more Pokemon and train them hard and form a bond with them. Then together, my Pokemon and I will become great friends and tackle anything ahead of us. Ash said with a determined look on his face. Right. Me, too. Serena said with an equal amount of determination. Sounds good. Misty said, smiling back. So where do we head to now? Serena asked. Well, I remember Nurse Joy saying that Pewter City is closest. Let's go through the Viridian Forest to get there. We can capture some more Pokemon while we are there and get some training in before our next big battle, Ash said. Great. Viridian Forest. Where all the creepy bugs are, Misty mumbled to herself. Did you say something, Misty? Ash asked, him as well as Serena giving Misty a questioning look. Nope. Nothing. Let's hurry up and go, Misty said, marching ahead of them. Serena then returned Chola to her Pokeball and began to follow Misty, giving Ash a weird look, as if asking what was up with Misty's behavior. Ash shrugged and began following also. Pikachu following its trainer. Everyone waved goodbye to Nurse Joy again and left the building with Ash and Serena's heads held high. After today, Ash and Serena both realized they still had a lot of growing up to do. Becoming a Pokemon trainer was a big responsibility. They would have to make a lot of rational decisions from now on and would need to mature in order to make it as a trainer. Maybe these losses were just what they needed to get them serious about their careers as well. They had set out on their journey to be best, and that's exactly what they were going to do.